This is the platforms under which we operate. Now, when you look at safety, our intestinal health products can come under safety. Is the other one. Those are the various categories.
I'm talking about the drugs. It's not feeds of.
You should say that, and if you have the time, you should come and visit us in our Ambattur laboratory, where we actually set up trial facilities for shrimp in our laboratory. So anytime, and I welcome any one of you, if you have the time, drop in at our Ambattur office. We've got a fabulous facility for aquaculture shrimp trials. Interestingly, also, we have now tied up with universities and organizations, starting actually with the Tamil Nadu Fisheries University, the Kasastad University in Thailand, University of Ghent, and the University in Ecuador, also to do trials along with us in the area of shrimp and fish. So very much on our radar, Nazir, but thank you for that question. Very, very important part of our business.
What I was saying, please don't depend on these government agencies, universities. Like you have in your Mumbai plant, like a farm, two R&D farms for poultry birds, for broilers.
Right.
Similar kind of, if KEMIN has its own R&D, I think you can really do good to the industry and to look up.
So you're absolutely correct. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Now, I'll just explain to you why the universities are also used. And you know our customers, right? Yeah. So we use our own R&D farms and laboratories, even the one in Gumadipundi as well as the one we have in Ambattur. A lot of that is done to do internal screening and development of products. When you take data to a customer likes to see an independent third-party data set. They think that if it comes out of a KEMIN farm or a KEMIN lab, they don't necessarily always give it 100% credibility. Not only KEMIN, any company lab, they'll think, oh, this is a... So if you give it to a third party, and all these are the top of the line universities, very well respected by our customers. So we do in our own labs, reconfirm it and validate it in third party laboratories. And that's the reason we tie up with universities. Thank you.
Our China research facility will have a fish research lab.
Also.
Yeah.
Dr. Chris?
Yes.
I'm just reading about this KEMIN Biologics.
Yes.
What is this?
Well, and
so the KEMIN Biologics is the vaccine business which we have initiated middle of last year. So here, currently this company is Biologics is focused on PRRS vaccine for swine. Of course, not much swine in India, but rest of the world has a significant swine population, and PRRS is one of the most significant disease that the swine herds are exposed to. So the technology is very unique. We took a stake in a company in the US which developed the technology, and we have exclusive sales marketing around the world with this technology. So we set up a company to take this vaccine to the market. Our long-term aim is to bring in poultry vaccines as well. We also have an investment in Egypt in a company which is the second largest vaccine company in Egypt. They are primarily focused in the Middle East market. So we have started small, and our next 5 to 10 years, very clearly this business is going to significantly contribute to our long-term growth in the animal nutrition and health. If you look at one of the significant challenges our farmers face is disease, and the first line of defense is vaccination. So this is our commitment to this industry from a long-term perspective.
I think that's an important overall strategic aim is that we've said that the immune system of the animal, what can we do to optimize the immune system? And so, of course, there's two types of immunity: innate immunity, which is that which we have all the time, and then acquired immunity, which comes from a vaccine. So our product Alita, which is we made reference to that we will be expanding that product, which is a stimulant for innate immunity. We're going to be expanding that in India, and then now to be within the acquired immunity area, that's the vaccine and KEMIN Biologics. So really working at both sides of the immune response within the animal.
Are you working for vaccines for shrimp and fish also?
Yes. At this time, we are, again, the way we are approaching this is we couldn't do everything ourselves. So we are collaborating with partners outside who are specifically focused on shrimp and fish vaccine. In case of poultry, we are again working with researchers who are developing that area, and we would primarily commercialize and own the technology and commercialize. Okay.
Can you please tell us more about the acquisitions or the collaborations that you are having or you are planning to have?
Yeah, maybe I could talk a little bit about our general acquisition strategy at KEMIN. We say that of our growth, our objective is that 80% of our growth comes organically. In other words, from our own research and development areas. 20% of our growth should come from acquisitions. And so we look really, I would say on a worldwide basis, we look for possibilities of where we can acquire a company where perhaps the technology has been proven, maybe in a very limited geography, and that we can take that on a worldwide basis. A very good example is this acquisition which we made basically about 2 years ago of a company called Algal Scientifics out of Michigan in the United States. They were manufacturing a particular beta-1,3 glucan that was from algae that was very good at stimulation of the immune system. They had sold just a little within the United States and had not been able to sell anymore. We've acquired the company and now have started and introduced the product on a worldwide basis. As I said, we are now in the process of expanding the fermentation of this algae to here in India, and that will be the next phase. But it's a good indication of the types of acquisitions we like to make. Cell chemistry is new and yet not new at all for us. Let me give you an example, and hopefully you saw the demonstration of blue jeans and what it is. One of the principal chemicals that is utilized in blue jeans is enzymes, and specifically cellulase. We've had actually worked with cellulase for over 25 years, utilizing cellulase in animal feeds to increase the digestibility. If you utilize cellulase and you don't let the digestion go fully, you will end up in the effects that you saw in the blue jeans. If you let it go fully, then you come up with the holes that you see in blue jeans. But it is the same chemistry, basically, that we utilize in animal feeds. So this is very similar to what KEMIN does, is we like to become experts in particular molecules and then get interested in all of the businesses that are using those molecules. So it was actually a very natural leap for us to go into the textile auxiliary business because that business is utilizing one of our core technologies. The other core technology that business utilizes is surfactants. We've been very, very large in surfactant chemistry, whether that has been in the animal feed business, both biological surfactants and surfactants used in feed milling. It turns out that some of those same surfactants are utilized in textile auxiliaries as well to be able to have various effects on textiles. So again, taking chemistry at a molecular level and then synergizing it across various businesses is certainly one of KEMIN's long-term strategic aims.
What is the size?
Segments: therapeutics, biologics, and the feed additive business. Currently, KEMIN participates only in the feed additive business. Okay, biologics is a new entrance, new segment for us. We just started off last year. We have no intention at this time of getting into therapeutics because we are encouraging our customers to, and the world over, the customers are moving away from use of antibiotics to non-use of antibiotics. So we see the long-term growth coming in the area of biologics and continued use of nutritional ingredients and health and safety ingredients.
That comes under feed additives.
That comes under feed additives. Yes.
In feed additives, what will be the, because we like to mention, in our reporting, when publication comes, in feed additives segment in the world, what is the position of KEMIN globally, like in a ranking?
So if we look at the overall market, if you look at therapeutics, feed additives and biologics, it's 40% each in therapeutics and feed additives. This is the market size, and 20% is the biologics, 20 to 25%. Now, if you again specifically go into feed additives, the largest categories are vitamins and amino acids. We don't participate. We are not basic manufacturers of vitamins and amino acids. We do work on amino acids for the dairy area, which is the encapsulation. So that's a very different business segment. Then if you look at within the feed additives, there are specific categories where we participate in. For example, antimicrobials. We would be number 1 or number 2 in the world market. Okay, because there are so many players. Even if you have a 7 to 8% market share, it becomes very substantial. Antimicrobials for feed safety. Biosurfactant, we are number 1 in the world. We basically are pioneers in that category. Then if you look at intestinal health program, and there's a basket of programs that you look at from a intestinal health space. I think depending again on which segment we look at, we would range between the top 3 players. You would be in that category. Yeah. And then if you look at enzyme, we have become basic now in manufacturing enzyme. I'm not sure how many of you read the announcement early this month that we took a stake in a company, fermentation facility, manufacturer of enzyme in China, a significant minority stake in the company. So that makes us basic in manufacturing enzyme. We have our own enzyme strains which we will produce. We also produce our own probiotics as well, which goes as part of the intestinal health. So in the intestinal health space, we are in the top 3 globally when you look at the total portfolio that we cover. Okay.
So in India, when we are talking about cattle feed, most of our cattle rearers, they depend on traditional feed items, ingredients. So how do you see your market in India, especially in cattle feed? Is it challenging to expand your wings in this field in India?
Cattle feed, to be frank, whatever we are producing is not to the extent the amount of feed what we are supposed to produce. It's been really challenging for the feed. It's not going the way we thought. Actually, the feed production, specifically in the cattle feed. Many of our customers, they use some of the raw materials like oil cakes, and mostly they use on their own, especially with the backyard cattle, people having maybe 2 to 5 cows, and they are basically utilizing on their own whatever the raw material what they have on their own. So the industry is growing, I would say, around 7 to 8%, which is much higher compared to the world average if you take. But for the amount of population what we have, at least we should have now producing close to 70 million metric ton of cattle feed. But today we are around 10 million metric ton of feed is what we are producing as a compound feed, if you ask me. So the growth is good in terms of, if you take world average, we are growing at 7 to 8%, but we are a long way to go in that.
Work on probiotics, or you also intend to work on prebiotics?
That is one of the plans, but not right at this moment. Yeah.
Right now, I think that when we've looked at the prebiotics that really have high efficacy, they need to be included in feed at 0.5 to 1% of the total feed. And every time we do the economics, remember we said that you're going to be able to earn 1 rupee, 2 rupees for every rupee you give us. We can't find a return on investment for the prebiotics right now. Not economical today.
So Nazir, going back to your prior question earlier, so the other category which is very significant, you would have seen it while walking to the factories, are product application division. We operate in several liquid programs to our customers. In that category, which we would like to refer to as a Liquid Smart program, which is feed safety, feed efficiency, and forage treatment, and dairy forage becomes a very critical one. In that category, we are number 1 around the world for many years. Yeah.
But it gave us a very good feeling when we visited your plant, very clear it is, everywhere, it was taken care well. And one last point, question I have from Chris,
I think I look at it as sort of as a world opportunity, and regardless of what nationality and so on, it's a world opportunity in nutrition. And India remains very high on the list of places where I see that KEMIN can make a real difference. And so there's no question that it has a very special place in my heart. And then we've been extremely fortunate to have some very highly qualified Indian managers, and we recognize great people. And so yes, they're at the table.
Thank you all for your valuable time. I just want to
in the recent years, we found that KEMIN is in India. KEMIN is taking part every year for the promotion of egg consumption in the country.
Yes.
Which is a good thing. You are doing it. Apart from that, do you have any plans to help the farmers to get the better for the promotion of both chicken and egg consumption?
There's no question that certainly egg production as well as broiler consumption continues to be a real area of focus for us. In my mind, as I see it, each of our products, we make an implicit promise to the farmers with our products, and that is if you invest 1 rupee on a product from KEMIN, we guarantee a return of 2 rupees. And in many cases, that 1 rupee investment can yield 5 to 7 rupees. And so with that sort of investment, we believe that the continued growth of our products allows the farming industry to continue to grow on a wide-scale basis, making protein more affordable for anybody who wishes to be able to purchase it. And I think that remains one of our areas. When we see particular opportunities like Egg Day that is celebrated here in India, we're going to be highly supportive of those because we do see that the promotion of these almost perfect protein, animal proteins, is one of the best ways to guarantee adequate nutrition for the population. Maybe Suresh has some comments.
Yes, Chris. In fact, one thing is we are participating like promotion of through the Egg Day and others. And apart from that, we are also to produce a quality protein. We actively participate with our customers, especially in importing knowledge and exchange of knowledge from the customers through various programs like we have a lot of training and audit programs which we continues to do with our customers, and in turn they can produce a quality food to the consumers. So that is somewhere KEMIN is actively participating, specifically through our customer laboratory service as well as the technical service and the engineering service, all which works to improve the quality and safety of the feed and in turn produce a quality food. So this is an area which actively participates.
KP might have some comments, especially on the aquaculture area, because I see this as a real growing area within the country.
Yeah, I think you have an exclusive president for aquaculture. You can also throw some light on it.
I was actually going to wait for some silence and then tell you about aqua. But thank you, Chris. Yes. It's quite interesting actually. KEMIN has been in aqua now, particularly in India, for almost 10 years. But it's always been part of our animal nutrition and health business. And more recently, about 3 years ago, in Asia Pacific, out of Singapore, we started focusing on aqua as well. Last year, KEMIN made a very serious decision and identified aqua as one of our largest growth opportunities over the next 25 years. If you look at world statistics on aqua or on meat consumption generally, you'll find all other meats, be it chicken, pork, beef, mutton, are all almost plateauing, in some markets even dipping. Aqua is the only animal protein that's actually growing at 3% annually, global numbers I'm talking about. So there's this huge opportunity in aquaculture. And we took this decision, and in KEMIN we realized that having it under a different business unit doesn't give it the focus and the energy that is required to be able to really support our customers. So a decision was taken to create a new business unit. And this business unit demerger started last year, and effective 1st January of this year, we have created this new business unit, which is a global business unit operating out of South Asia, Asia Pacific, the largest market China, EMENA, which is Europe, Middle East and North Africa, and Latin America, primarily Ecuador. So a little while ago there was a question about exports from this plant in Gumadipundi. Interestingly, one of the things we're looking at is exporting aqua products out of India, particularly into South America and Europe, and for Asia Pacific, because we've got some really good research that has developed new products. So what this new focus and the new business unit is going to do is to create specific products for the aquaculture industry. And this will benefit the farmers as well as the feed manufacturers who make aqua feed and grow shrimp and fish in different markets in the world.
Dr. Chris, today when we visited your operations, you were at Gumadipundi, and we were very happy to see the facilities you have established, and particularly 2 R&D farms you have poultry, which is a very nice thing, which I have not seen with many of.
I spent way too much money. I don't know if you can tell you exactly how much.
Yeah, it's almost close to 50 crores what we invested in the current, the new facility what we have come up.
India has been improving in ease of doing business. The ranking has.
We have seen
So I can say that within the KEMIN business, the agricultural or animal feed area remains about 50%. I don't hear too many complaints coming back to the United States. So, but maybe Suraj has a different view.
Ease of doing business.
Ease of doing business in India.
What's our experience?
In fact, it's really good in India in the sense the way we do our business is not only the sales but the sales and service model. That's what we follow, and the sales team has always been supported by some 3-4 other service teams. Like we have a customer laboratory team, we have an engineering team, we have a technical team in the field, and apart from that, even sometimes if required, our research and development team also jumps in. And when we talk about the science to the customer and you can demonstrate the benefits to the customer, it becomes easy. Once the customer sees the ROI, I don't think that any issues there in terms of doing business.
So let me elaborate on that response, and I'll look at from a slightly different perspective. Your question alluded to that as well. Since it's about 20 years we've operated in the country, we haven't faced any significant hurdle in starting business and doing business from a regulatory perspective or government. One of the reasons could be is that our industry is not really that well regulated, as well as it is not in the sights of the government decision-making bodies. We still fly under the radar in most of the cases. But having said that, we have had the necessary support from the government, local industry body, and we have not faced any major challenges so far.
I'm President and CEO of KEMIN Industries. Today we were very fortunate to be able to announce and we were very fortunate to be able to inaugurate a new manufacturing facility in Gumadipundi outside of Chennai. This facility is our third large investment within India to be able to continue to manufacture ingredients that go into animal feeds, human foods, as well as pet foods and nutraceuticals. KEMIN remains highly committed to India and its nutrition, and we feel, to be able to do this through our customers who have shown us the great loyalty through the past 20 years. We look forward to many more years here in India and many more expansions.
Thank you.
Is that enough?
Sounds good.